Hello, 8th graders. Today we are going to talk about asteroids and in particular the asteroid belt. The asteroid belt is an area in between Mars and Jupiter, so in between the inner terrestrial planets and the outer gas giants. And it's an area that houses most of the asteroids that are found in our solar system. Okay, and they orbit the sun in that area. Asteroids, as you can see by this picture, are pieces of rock that are left over, little bits and pieces, and some are quite large, pieces of rock that are left over from the initial formation of our solar system. So when the sun first ignited, it sent material out in all directions, and some of that coalesced and formed our planets, which are spherical. They're large enough to have pulled all the material in to form a sphere, and some of that stuff got kind of left over and either slammed into the planets or it was left, in this case, in the middle of the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. And so it's this perfect push and pull of gravity that keeps everything in line. If we were to take Jupiter out of the equation, those asteroids would fly towards the terrestrial planets and into the sun. So everything is like this perfect clockwork. It's the leftovers of that initial formation, that initial explosion that led to our solar system's formation. We have named and discovered and named just over a million asteroids to date, and we're constantly still identifying them and finding them. Some of them are quite large. Largest asteroid that we have found is just over 300 kilometers, or actually 300 miles in diameter, so pretty big, all the way down to maybe 30 feet across. The largest asteroid that we have in the asteroid belt is called Vesta, and that's the one that's 329 miles in diameter. We also have another large chunk of material called Ceres in the asteroid belt, but that's categorized as a dwarf planet because it is large enough to be pulled into a sphere, okay? But it's not considered a regular planet because it shares its orbit with all of this other material. There's 3 different kinds of asteroids in our solar system. Most of them, again, orbit the sun in the asteroid belt, which is in between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. There's other asteroids called the Trojans, and those revolve around planets. So there is some asteroids that revolve around Jupiter, and the 2 moons of Mars are captured asteroids. And then there are NEAs, which stands for near-Earth asteroids, and we've got about 10,000 of those, the ones that are a little bit closer to Earth. And in fact, 1,400 of those actually are close enough to be considered a threat, but scientists watch those asteroids constantly. They can predict if one is going to cross our path, and then we can do any number of things to avoid a collision. The total mass of all of the asteroids, though, whether they are in the main asteroid belt, they're orbiting another planet, or they're the ones that are really close to Earth, the total mass of all of those is actually less than our moon, okay? So even though they're found everywhere in our solar system, they don't equal up to a lot. Let's see, what else? Let's see, pieces of asteroids. Yeah, pieces of asteroids. If we break off a chunk of an asteroid and it's about as big as a boulder, those are the ones that also orbit around either the planets or in the asteroid belt, and those are called meteoroids. Okay, we've heard the word meteor before. Meteoroids are still in orbit. Okay, so they're smaller than asteroids. They're pieces of asteroids. Meteors are the ones that have their orbit disrupted and they fly through space. They're actually flying through our atmosphere. They're burning up in our atmosphere. So when you look up at the sky and you see a shooting star, that is actually a meteor, okay? So there's big asteroids, there's meteoroids that are pieces of asteroids, and then meteors are burning up in our atmosphere. And then occasionally a piece of an or a piece of a meteor will actually make it to Earth. It'll hit Earth, and in our history, we've had a couple of these very large collisions. One is theorized to have taken out the dinosaurs, but most of these are really, really small. And when they actually make it to Earth, they're called meteorites. Okay, so there's 4 vocabulary terms here. Asteroids are pieces of rock that are leftovers from the formation of our solar system. Meteoroids are pieces of those. Meteors are coming through our atmosphere and on fire, and then meteorites have made it to the ground. If we look here, I mean, we can see a lot of different pictures of some of these. We've done a lot of studying of them. We haven't actually been able to do a lot of surface study. We have actually landed a couple little robot tripods actually on a couple of these things. Very, very cool. But most often we have done flybys, and we've sent space probes up that have photograph these things either on their way out to the outer solar system, or we've sent up missions to actually explore individual asteroids as the point of the mission. There's a lot to be learned here. There's a lot to be learned from asteroids. Obviously, if they are bits and pieces of the leftovers of our early solar system, then we can kind of study what some of that old material is. And so your assignment today, folks, is I'm going to have a link to this gallery under the NASA Asteroids link, okay? And you can do one of 2 things. You can look at the gallery and you can choose one of these pictures. Some of them are of asteroids. Some of them are of spacecraft heading towards asteroids. There's a whole nother page here. Lots and lots and lots. It keeps going on and on and on. Okay, so you can either choose one of those, and on the Google Classroom, let's see, it says for Monday, you can name the picture and then 2 facts about the object in the picture. So you can click on that picture for more information. And one of the facts can't be it's an asteroid. That doesn't count. Okay, so on here, let's say I wanted to click on this one. I choose this one. If I click on it, I'm going to get a little write-up, a little bit more information. So 2 facts and then the name of the picture. Or your other option would be I'm going to put this link up too. These are missions that we have taken to either 2 asteroids or missions that have included pictures of asteroids, current and past missions here, and then future missions here. You can choose one of those, okay? And then the assignment for that would be the name of the mission, the launch date, and what was the objective of the mission. All right, and you can answer those things. You can answer those few questions just right on the Google Classroom. You don't have to make a slide or do a document or anything like that. Just a quick dig into a little bit more information about our asteroids. We are going to be talking about the outer planets next, and so we'll pause and have a day of just kind of comparing the structure of inner planets and outer planets. It seems like a good time to compare and contrast those. Since the asteroid belt is the thing that divides them. And we will talk soon.